Look, facing harassment at work is an incredibly difficult experience. It can leave you feeling completely alone and just lost, not knowing what to do. But you're not powerless. That's why we're here. In this explainer, we're going to walk through the official step-by-step process for filing a sexual harassment complaint in India to give you the clarity you need to move forward.
So something's happened at work, and now you're left wondering, okay, so what's next? It's a really tough, confusing spot to be in, for sure. This guide is all about giving you a clear, actionable roadmap for what you can do.
All right, so the backbone of this whole system is something called the POSH Act from 2013. You can think of it as the official rulebook, a safety net that was created specifically to make sure every workplace is safe and has a formal way to handle these kinds of complaints.
Now, before we get into the how, it's absolutely crucial to understand the why. You see, this law isn't just a bunch of rules. It's built on a framework of core principles, all designed to protect the person filing the complaint.
This is so important. The whole process is meant to be survivor-centric, which basically means your well-being is the top priority. Confidentiality is also key. Everything is kept private, and this non-retaliation part, it's a critical shield. It means you can't be fired or punished for coming forward. And remember, doing this doesn't close any other doors. You can still file a separate criminal complaint if you choose to. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Knowing the ground rules, like who is eligible to file, where you need to go, and those all-important deadlines, is step number one. You know, one of the most powerful things about this law is just how broad its protections are. It gets that harassment doesn't just happen to full-time employees. So it doesn't matter if you're an intern, a contractor, or even just a client visiting the office. You have the exact same rights. That's huge. It's a total game changer.
Okay, so who do you actually talk to? Well, if your company has 10 or more employees, you go to the internal committee, or the IC. If it's a smaller company, or if your complaint is actually about the employer themselves, then you go to the local committee, or LC, which is an external group. Knowing which is the key to getting the ball rolling correct.
Now, timing is super important here. The law is very clear. You have 3 months from the date of the incident to file your complaint. And if it wasn't just one incident, but a series of them, that 3-month clock starts from the date of the last one.
But look, the law gets it. It understands that coming forward is a massive step, and sometimes you need more time. That's why there's some flexibility built in. The committee can actually extend that deadline by another 3 months, as long as you have a good reason for the delay. It really shows the system is designed to be understanding.
All right, here we go. This is the heart of it all. We are going to walk through the exact steps you need to take when you're ready to file a formal complaint. Getting your ducks in a row beforehand is absolutely key. You have to put your complaint in writing and be as detailed as you can, dates, times, locations, all of it. If there are any witnesses, write down their names. Gather any proof you have, like screenshots or emails. And here's a really specific but super important detail. You'll need to make 6 copies of everything.
So this lays out the whole journey for you, from start to finish. Once you submit, you have an option called conciliation, which is basically a mediated settlement. It's totally optional. If you move forward with the formal inquiry, the committee has a strict 90-day deadline to finish its investigation. And once they do, your employer has to act on their findings within 60 days. These timelines ensure things don't just get swept under the rug.
You know, the way we work has changed so much, right? So you might be wondering, how do these rules even apply to things like remote work? Well, in this section, we're going to tackle some of the most common questions people have. This is a big one, a question that comes up constantly. People are understandably worried about putting their name on a complaint, and they wonder if they can just file it anonymously. And the answer here is a clear no. Now, your identity will absolutely be kept confidential from the public, but you can't file anonymously. And there's a really important reason for this. It's all about fairness to everyone involved. A proper investigation just isn't possible if the committee doesn't know who the complaint is coming from. Okay, let's talk about another common fear. What if my complaint isn't upheld? Could I get in trouble for filing it? Or worse, what if someone accuses me of making a false complaint? This is so important because it's a major safeguard for you. You won't be penalized just because there wasn't enough evidence to prove your case. The law makes a huge distinction between a complaint that couldn't be proven and one that was filed with malicious intent, using fake evidence. Penalties only come into play if it's proven you were deliberately trying to harm someone with a lie. This is here to give you the confidence to come forward.
This just shows you how the law isn't stuck in the past, it's adapted to how we work now. If you're working remotely, you can submit your complaint online and even attend hearings virtually. If you're a gig worker, you've got a clear path through the local committee. And this is key. Your employer is required to provide support, like access to counseling if you ask for it.
So, after all that, what's the bottom line? What should you really take away from this? Well, understanding this process isn't just about learning rules. It's about recognizing your rights and, frankly, your power.
I think this quote just nails it. It really gets to the heart of what this law is all about. It's creating a system that encourages people to speak up by making the process safe and easy to navigate while also making sure it's fair for everyone. The whole point is to empower you, not to create more hurdles. Okay, so we've broken down the whole process. But knowing the steps is just one part of the puzzle, right? A truly safe workplace takes a collective effort. It's not enough to just have a process on paper. You have to build a culture where people feel genuinely safe and supported enough to actually use it. So that leaves us with one final thought. What can all of us do to make our workplaces truly free from these barriers?